Hey guys, welcome back to FixLife. If you've got a trailer newer than about 2005, an RV, a utility trailer, you're going to want to watch this video because about 80% of them were made with these exact suspension components. These are the shackles, almost completely worn through. And they're a ticking time bomb. They will fail. It's just a matter of, do they fail leaving your driveway or doing 70 down the interstate? This weekend I was working on a golf cart trailer. Like I said, same exact suspension components. They got so lucky. They headed from Phoenix down to Tucson, turned off the interstate. They were doing about 25 miles an hour when the U-bolts let go. And the axle slammed into the rear fender, totally ruined that brand new tire down past the steel belts. You could hear the air leaking out of it. If they had been doing freeway speeds, this wouldn't be a repair video, it would be a police report. I can't stress how lucky they were and how differently things could have gone. But after seeing the suspension, we know why those U-bolts failed. The slack in the suspension created a harmonic vibration that backed off the nuts, and the U-bolts just left the chat. Today I'm going to show you what the fix is and why it should be one of the first things you upgrade on your trailer. Let's do it. You can actually hear the air still coming out. Yeah, they had just gotten off Interstate 10, thankfully, and they were only doing about 25 when this happened. The U-bolts left the chat, and then the axle came back and hit the fender and locked it up and dragged it. Okay, that doesn't look right. Gonna need a new spring for sure. Alright, it looks like we're gonna get lucky on this one, as wallowed out as all these are. And you can see even on the other side how wallowed out those are. Looks like the hanger is still in good shape. It's not wallowed out, thankfully, because I wouldn't be able to do this job if it was, because I'm not a structural welder and I don't want to take the liability of welding the piece that holds the suspension to the trailer. So, good deal. Alright guys, the shackle kit showed up. You can see how thick these are, 1/2 inch thick versus what's on the trailer. You'll see when I show back up at the trailer tomorrow. But I think what I'm going to do today, especially the set of springs should be here today. So because these are already pressed in, which saves so much work, the ones on here, they'll actually go like this. So that front one, because the bushing's already in there, I can steal this bushing and it can actually go on the far end of the spring, and then this would be on the close end of the spring. My plan is to get some dry ice tomorrow morning, and I'm going to go ahead and remove these right now, and I will set those in dry ice, and then tomorrow when I go to put them into the springs, they should just drop right in. So that's my plan. But man, these are seriously, I'll leave a link to this. These are seriously beefy. They got some good amount of gravity to them. So I'm really happy with this purchase for a little over $100, I think it was. But yeah, I'll leave a link. Alright guys, it is Saturday. I came back over here. Nothing's fixed yet. You can still see this axle moves from there to there. So I'm going to try to bang this fender out. You can see where the light goes. I ordered a new light, but you can see this part, this V-shaped part, is supposed to be flat. And it's not. So I'm going to heat it up in here, try to bang it out with a sledgehammer. Probably heat it up right here too at the 2 crease points, but to do that I had to cut out this winch deal because I don't want to melt the wiring. I'll have to remove this. I took the license plate off. This stuff is kind of pinched in here. So, but I'm going to try to pull the wiring through so I can not melt it. Okay, I probably got the rivet out. So there's that. This only has 1 wire, so it must get grounded through the frame. That's nice. Here's the rivet. So I will cut that wire. better, huh? It's pretty straight now. Looking down. I know it doesn't look like it because the paint's all screwed up, but I'll take care of that. This stuff is pretty cool. It actually like turns into an epoxy coating basically. One-step epoxy coating. Anyway, that's why I'm using it, because it's one step. Got it jacked up, and the shackle kit showed up, which I think I showed already in the video, but the springs have not. Supposedly they're in Tucson, but I'm just hoping they show up today so I can come finish this tomorrow and they'll have it for the week. These 3 wires are going to go back through here. I'll find a grommet for that. That is for the Warn winch remote control. And then this just came off. It looks like we got wiring here that's kind of chowdered. So that'll have to get spliced. Looks like it already was spliced a couple times. But I already stripped these back. These go into the drum, and I'm going to put some voltage on it here in a second. And I'm hoping that when I put voltage on it, this brake locks up. Because if it pulled these wires out of the magnet in there, then this brake might be dead. And that's a lot more work. I don't know if you can see this, but I have it set for 10 volts. I'll twist one of them together, and then I'll just touch it to the other one. Okay, so let's see. So it's 3. When I touch it, let's see what we're pulling here. 3 amps, 30 watts. I think that's about what they're supposed to pull. Do it one more time. Yep, okay, he's working. Whoa, ow! Damn it! Oh, pinch my freaking hand right here. It's so loose. Then it fell off the jack. Good times. Now I'm hooked up to the wire that goes to the other brake on the other side because it has to get tied in. I'm still giving it 10 volts, so let's see. And it's pulling 2.8 amps, 28 watts, so that one must be good too then. I twist it together and run around and check that side real quick. It's only the rears that even have brakes. Yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. Oh, did that side fall off again probably? Sure it did. Yeah, the jack tipped over. Little bastard. Okay. Bought one of these a while back just to use for the wire, and it's come in pretty handy. I think I got it on sale for 14 bucks at Harbor Freight, but it's the right gauge of wire, so I'm just going to steal about a 2-foot section off of this. And then I'll be able to wire it all in, and I still have all this left. I've probably used this 3 times already. I bought 2 of them, so for 28 bucks, I'll probably get 10 uses out of this just repairing wiring. I'm going to go ahead and put some split loom on it here, and then I'll just run it all the way down. Alrighty, so the wiring goes up to there. I drilled that hole, which it didn't have before, and I drilled that hole. So I'm not sure how they had it before. They must have just had it going through above the hanger, which is not good. Goes up, and then everything terminates down here. Got all 3, the driver's side, passenger side, and the feed in all terminate right here. And then this guy is going over to here. I'll probably splice it on this side of the fender. And then I was looking at this thing that's all busted up. This is like a remote plug-in for the Warn winch. And it's got, you unplug that, that's the little weatherproof deal. So I think I'm going to take my little nibbler thing here and cut out everything around this. And that way maybe I could just drill a hole in here and put a screw through that. I'll just keep this flat piece of plastic on either side of it, put a couple screws through it. That way it's mounted, and I can still put the cap back on, keep it weatherproof. Alright, wiring's figured out. Here's the Warren winch deal, the tail light, the parking light. Got that stuff. And then all that stuff. And then it goes forward. You see this? You see how that is almost completely worn through? Oh my gosh. They were lucky, well, not lucky because the U-bolts gave out, but these things are just so worn out. It's crazy. Unbelievable. They didn't have much time left on these because 80% of the RVs nowadays come with standard suspension just like this. They're not greasable, and then they have nylon bushings. And probably the biggest issue is that these stamped steel shackles are only 3/16 of an inch thick. And then you're metal on metal, and then it probably takes a while from there to get to here before you wear through all your metal. But then you got to get somebody like me to jack the whole trailer up completely, you know, jack both axles up, completely drop the suspension, press out if there's anything left of the old bushings, and put in a better bushing kit and a new equalizer. Anyways, yeah, unbelievable, huh? And it would probably cost the dealer an extra 30-40 bucks to put one of those heavy-duty kits in that we can all buy for, say, 120. And it wouldn't cost them any more labor because they got to put it together whether they use nylon or brass. So, and whether they put in these bolts that are dry or the wet bolts that you can actually grease. It's crazy, guys. So when you get a new trailer, you pretty much right off the bat have to replace the tires, because I've heard countless stories about sometimes they don't even make it from the manufacturer to the dealership without having blowouts. It's crazy. You'll never make a cross-country trip on a brand new set of tires because the tires are so crappy. Goodyear, I'll put it here on the screen. The ones that my dad got, he did a bunch of research, and the Goodyear, that is a really good brand to switch them out to. So when you guys buy a brand new trailer, switch out your tires and then switch out this BS nylon, and see how thin these are? I'll show you in a minute, but the new ones are 1/2 inch thick. These are maybe a little over 1/8. Those are probably 3/16. They're far from 1/4. And the new ones are 1/2 inch. So. I just got off the old equalizer and a couple shackles. We were so lucky. I almost can't believe that this didn't get worn out. I guess that's the last thing to go, but look how worn out the equalizer is. And I already showed you these, which is just that's pretty bad, but look at the thickness. You see how thick these are? The ones are 1/2 inch. I think these are 3/16. Let's see. Would two of these actually? No, even two of them aren't that thick. So, pretty crazy. Alright guys, if you can see this here, I took my little paint pen and I marked. You only have one hole. Well, I don't know how many holes you have, but we won't get into that right now. But you want this hole clocked at either 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So you want it on the side, not straight up. Because if you go to pump grease in there and the bushing is, all the weight is down on top of the bushing, the grease isn't going to want to come out. So, and yeah, I pulled the grease zerk out so I can bang it in. And yeah, I'm going to go around and do this to all the bolts so I can put them in and have them clocked correctly. So you want the grease zerks inward. And I'm going to aim this. See these little knurls? They're going to make it want to twist slightly also. So I'm going to count for that. Go a little. I'm going to go at like, that would be 9 o'clock. I'm going to go at like 8 o'clock. And then when I pound it in, I have a C-clamp. I might try that, but I just don't think it'll go. I hate banging on these, but this one's actually supported with that extra one right there. So Also wanted to show this to you guys. Look at how worn through that bolt is. That's what happens when they're metal on metal. The shackles usually go before the bolts do because the metal's a lot thicker on these bolts, but you can see it right there and right there. It's just crazy. Trailer gonna fall over on me? I hope not. Alright, now that I've got it part of the way through, it is not wanting to go, so I'm gonna try to suck it through with the impact. Gotta get the right socket. Alright, I got it in there now. I just gotta get this grease zerk back in the head. Come on, baby. They put some, whatever this white schmutz is, makes it hard to come out. I guess it's thread locker. Okay, gently. Gently. Okay, she's in. It's got a tiny, tiny bit of cleanup to do. Good idea to start your day with some preservatives. Well, I just went to Bash's and picked up some dry ice. I didn't think I would have to buy 5.8 freaking pounds of it. There went $11. I'll probably use a tiny fraction of it to shrink down those bushings. I'm gonna swing by the auto parts store and see if I can find a bulb for that license plate light, because I noticed yesterday that the filament was open, like separated, like bad bulb, you know? So hopefully I can fix that for him too. Does it seem like everything is ridiculously expensive anymore? I know that was a dumb question, right? And we're back. Well, last night when these springs showed up, the eyes were bigger than standard. They were 7/8. So these bronze bushings were just a little bit too fat to fit in there. So I went to 4 different. I went to One Ace Hardware. They had the drill bit I needed for $25.99 plus tax, but they didn't have it in stock. So then I went to Lowe's. Lowe's didn't have it. So then I went to Home Depot. Home Depot didn't have it. So then I went to another Ace and they finally had it. So $27 or something just for a stupid drill bit that I used to shave a tiny bit off of the nylon so I could put these brass ones inside it so we can still have the wet bolts. Anyways, it's always something, you know, but I think this will work out really well. All right, I'm gonna break up this dry ice a little bit. I think I should have 4, 2, 3. 4. Okay. Cool down. Ow! That was my knee. All right, I'm gonna torque these to 40 foot-pounds. I'll probably need to get some deep sockets, but this up a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a damn deep socket. That sucks. Maybe not. Yeah. Probably. I'm not gonna torque them fully until I get them all the way up. Okay. Try this again. That is not even shrinking. Damn it. See that? As soon as it touched it, it acted like a heat sink. It sucked all that in. This thing is bent. I already got this one torqued. Let's see. Yeah, that one's good. Okay. I can't even see what I'm doing. Yeah, kind of. Anyway, you know how to torque bolts. Last thing I want to do is get this socket stuck. Oh boy. Maybe I can take it all the way through it. There we go. Alright. Try our dry ice, which is not going to work. Nope. Wasted $11 freaking. I hate wasting money, man. God, that sucks. Okay, I guess I'm using the bent ass C-clamp again. Okay, I'll be back when I'm done. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but that's not exactly round anymore. And these bolts, they get just the tiniest bit. See, it'll slide in this end, but once it hits that side, it won't pass through. So luckily I have 4 spares. My friend's dad, whose trailer I did, bought a 4-pack because for a single axle, and then he bought a kit and it came with them, so he didn't use them, so he gave them to me. So luckily I don't have to try to pound this back into being round again. Anyways, they're very easy to screw up. What I ended up doing was taking this piece of thick rubber and I just put it on there and beat it with the hammer. And that's probably 1/4 inch thick rubber, and it didn't deform it whatsoever. So that's how I'm going to do the rest of them, I think. Just gonna torque this feller if I can get it. Click. Alright, gotta replace this because this is what caused this whole mess. Actually, let me figure this out. Which way do these go? They only go one way. See how they're way too big that way, but they'll go that way if I stretch it a little bit. So that's how it goes. And I believe, yeah, you want the flat part facing the spring, so they need to go on like this. Good. Get started. I'm like looking through the camera because it's the only way I can see. Okay, there we go. Jeez. I guess they make it to where you have to fight it on purpose. I believe these, I'll check the torque spec. The others were 40. I believe these are more like 80 or something. I will check. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was fun. Okay, like I said, we want to do them all equally. Getting snug. So I'm going to do like 20 pounds and I'll come back with like 45. The torque spec is 45 to 70. So I'm probably going to do like 60 since it's so hot here. And you always want to tell your customer, or if you are the customer, you want to re-torque them after, I don't know, 50, 100 miles, something like that. Because these bolts can stretch, and that's why you never ever reuse your U-bolts, because they do stretch, and that's what helps with the clamping force. So don't reuse them. Okay? Okay. I know you guys know how to torque stuff, so I'm not going to bore you with that, but like I said, 20, then 45, then 60, do a crisscross pattern, make sure they're all the same amount of threads showing, so it's equal. Okay. Holy crap, you guys, look at how much that bolt wore through the equalizer. That is unbelievable. This is so bizarre when you look at the two that I pulled out of here side by side. E-1, and then you can just see the one right there. So I thought maybe one had been replaced, but they're the same damn part number. But the driver's side only ate in this much. This one, that much. That is so crazy. This was going so smooth, I was able to get the axles flipped right side up, I got the wheels on, and I went around to the other side of the trailer, and as soon as I put the wheels on that side, the axles flipped again, and I must have tried 3 or 4 times, and I just couldn't get it. With the weight of the wheels on there, the axles kept wanting to flip on me, so my dad came down, and we got them, flipped correctly, and then I lowered the trailer as he was supporting one of the axles to keep it from flipping, but I was so frustrated, I didn't film any more that day. This is what she's looking like, all done up. Anyways, That's all fixed. I'll show you the other side. This is the one where the equalizer was almost completely sawed all the way through. So that's brand new. And they're all greased. I don't know if you can see the grease. Yeah, nice and sloppy. Anyways, that's it, guys. That's how you install a heavy-duty shackle kit. Alrighty. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll have another one for you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Like I always say, if it's got parts, you can probably fix it. Alright, guys. Thank you. Take care. Guys, I just want to say it again, that the RV industry will 100% put your life in danger if it means they can make an extra 40 or 50 bucks per trailer. So the best thing you can do is arm yourself with information, learn everything you can about your specific RV. There's some really good RV channels on YouTube. One that I really like is called Liz Amazing. She's an advocate for people getting screwed over by the RV industry, and she exposes a ton of information that you would probably never hear otherwise. Here's a list of current manufacturers that are having frame issues, and there's class action lawsuits going on right now. Anyways, that's a really good channel to check out, but arm yourself with information, guys. All right, take care.